All right, are live. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and wait and join in.
I try my best to.
Yeah. So today, I wanted to actually get into a bit of the vocal processing going on for this track. And hey, hello. I hope my microphone's all good because it's been a while again since I did some live streaming. Um, anyway, I wanted to talk about doing some vocal processing and see there. See if you guys maybe have some questions about it, maybe some questions about the new song, whatever. We can just fucking hang, you know. We just get into this first vocal verse. Start working on that. See if I can make it good. As you can see, this is just a take that me and Damien recorded when we recorded the whole song.
I try my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will it tear me apart? I try my best to cut you out, but you
Hello.
keep ruling my thoughts.
Hi guys.
I can't believe I'm in so deep now.
Welcome.
Will it tear me apart? I try my.
So I wanted to get into the vocal processing today. You sell more tickets for exclusive. Well, I'm not in charge of that actually. Udens is, I suppose. But I don't think Heineken Music Hall fits more people. Oh wait, it's the Alphas Live. Still kind of like imprinted in my head being Heineken Music Hall. But yeah. Anyway, let's get into this vocal processing because I think it would be nice to show you how I did these vocals. I don't even remember how I did these vocals, but let's say I'm going to show you how I would normally do my vocals. And then we can just jam around with it and see where it goes.
I try my best to cut you out.
So what I normally do is have a good listen, obviously,
I can't believe I'm in so
and then open up an EQ
Will it tear me apart?
and start cutting out the low frequencies in the vocal first, like straight away. Also have a beer if you want. It's weekend, after all. Greetings from the studio, guys. Yeah, so normally when I process the vocal, I will just cut the low end around just a bit lower than the bass note, where you can just see like where the bass lies. Probably around 100 Hz for this vocal. And after that, I'm gonna cut off some of the low end this vocal. Wait.
Will it tear me apart? I try my best to cut you out, but
Doing that wrong.
you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm.
Normally, I always look for the point of like 600 Hz or something. It's a region that holds the mid information of all the instruments. So cut a little bit of that. And then I always, in a vocal, I always cut a little bit of this 2K, 3K region because of the fact that I know this mic has a kind of like a boost there. And if you cut the region here, it also adds a little bit of high end if you start compressing it. So.
Will it tear me apart? I tried my best to cut you out, but
Do
you
that.
keep ruling my thoughts.
After that, I'll just add in
I'm
some
so
compression.
deep now. Will it tear me apart? I tried my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will it tear me apart?
Then I'm gonna add a de-esser. It's sometimes hard for me to just tell me like where I need to place it, like before the compressor or after compressor, like I don't know.
I tried my best to cut you.
I use this de-esser because you can also add some air at the same time while it's also taking care of the S's, which is amazing because you always need like a kind of like an airy high end to a vocal if you wanted to let it breathe a little bit. But I think in the original song, the song that I did, I kept everything very dark. Like the whole reverb is super dark, vocals are quite dark, and I wanted to have the track to kind of like have that heartbreak, cheating kind of vibe to it, you know, like a bit of a intense, emotional vibe. And yeah, that's a choice you can make while you're making songs. I mean, I love making these kind of like storyline decisions while I'm making music, and it's very, very nice to keep that in mind as well when you just try to process vocals or leads or whatever, like the main parts of your song.
You out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will it tear me apart?
It's a bit hard to say about the high end on these headphones, but you can also hear a little bit that the recording has a little bit of noise.
But I tried my best to cut you out.
You listen careful.
But you keep ruling my thoughts.
It's probably my laptop in the background making a noise. Recording actually.
I can't believe I'm in so deep now.
I'll gate that out.
Now, will it tear me apart? I tried my best to cut you out, but you
Oh,
keep...
yeah, tips on a weird basis. Well, that's actually a good thing to try out. I mean, weird basses are very easy. Because if you go weird, you can go fucking mental, you know? And let's just do that. I mean, the vocal processing is something nice to teach people because I struggled a lot with it in the beginning while I was recording vocals. And it's still something that I haven't completely mastered, so to say. But yeah, it's not the most fun bit to show, I guess. So for the basses, let's just, I don't know, start off with a Reese kind of bass. I love Reese bass. You heard a lot in Black Mirror Society, I think, in the album, and I still use it for Silver Bullet in a couple of tracks. Silhouette, for example, on top of my head, and probably more, like a lot more, because I love this drum and bass kind of vibe, you know. So what I always do is I start off with just a saw wave. Let's say something like this. Is the sound of the vocal lower than normal? Not sure what you mean, but yeah, mixing hardstyle and vocals is always a challenge for me because I try to find the right balance between the hardstyle sound and the vocal sound. Because if you mix a pop record, normally you put the vocals like way up front in the track, but if you do that with hardstyle, the drops will kind of like fade away in the distance because hardstyle music is so full of reverb that if you add so much reverb to the vocal, it will just sound terrible. And if you don't use that amount of reverb and put it as loud as it should be for pop music, what a lot of people are used to, then it simply sounds too loud and then the drops will kind of fade. So it's always really hard to find a balance for me. Anyway, just continue with the basses and I will just probably answer some questions later on and as well, but let's just do the bass first. Just hang, you know. Right, let's just get a bass line down under this vocal verse, and I can just tweak the bass line while we're doing it.
I tried my best to cut you out.
For now, we'll just mute the doubles because we won't be using them. This is the chorus, by the way. The takes in the bottom, but yeah.
I tried my best in so deep now.
Oh, no.
Will it tear me apart? I try my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will it tear me apart?
Last bit is a little bit too random. But yeah, this is just a random bass line that I randomly play. I mean, not something. It's a very common progression. There's a 6th interval, 1st interval, 5th interval, and you can go to a 6th again. So it's kind of like balances out. It's a very chilled chord progression, so to say. I don't have chords right now, but in the bass line also defines the chords on top. Always defines.
I try my best to cut you out, but you keep.
Yeah, so if you want to just make a basic synth bass sound that I use a lot, is just simply use some sauce in Serum, whatever. Use a filter and then just
I try my best to cut
that bit, and then it sounds a little bit lame in a way, I always think. So I always add a lot of compression to it. Sometimes I use this compressor inside here, but most of the times I just go into like Dynamics plugin, and then just use the bass preset here. Is really good. But what the bass preset does for compression is, as you can see, the attack on the bass is always super low. I mean, you can use a longer compression if you want a punchy bass, but most of the times you just use it super tight, and then that's a 0 MS1, and then for the release you can actually define how tight it's gonna sound like. So
you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts.
You can really hear.
Can't believe I'm in so
It's clipping, but
now. Will it tear me apart? I try my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts.
The longer the shorter the release, obviously, the more tighter it's gonna sound like. But this is the kind of like the bass sound, you know. And then if you want to make more of a Reese sound, like a very intense, more of an intense Reese sound that I used a lot. Most of the time I just go in here, pick a phaser filter. You can also do it with an EQ, but I like this phaser sound. It's very good. You can immediately hear that you start adding that Reese character to it. And you can shape that character by simply tweaking the filter, tweaking this filter. Most of the times I add a distortion after it to make it a little bit more crunchy, heavy, muddy even. So as you can hear, it's like you can shape the sound even more if you want with using, I don't know, different stuff. Some frequency modulation. Sub, I always say. You can also use it from the B oscillator and do some more weird stuff. Wait, no, just like, I don't know. Most of the times this is just playing around. I use a lot of this. And then I can, say, modulate this with a mod wheel or something. I don't know. Let's get this. Most of the times I always add a portamento, the sweeping, sliding sound to it, you know. It actually would be a lot of fucking fun to make like a drum and bass remix or something from this. I mean, it's just, I think the original on 55 BPM, just get this up to, I don't know, 170 or something. I downloaded this virtual ride pack with a lot of like snare samples that are really good. 175? Alright, let's do 175. I think drum and bass just goes wherever. Like, you can do 160 track, you can also do a 200 BPM drum and bass. I mean, that's the fun bit about drum and bass. You can just go all the fucking way, right? I mean, still am a big Noize fan, but unfortunately Noize's quitting. But used to love that stuff, Black Sun Empire, all that dirty shit's like kind of my kind of vibe. I also like you call it drum step a lot, like the faster dubstep stuff. Really enjoy that as well. Well, let's just use some samples for now, because making snares is really like a thing. Is in drum and bass, I think like making snares for them is like how we do, say, making kicks in our style. Snares are like their thing. There's a lot of work to get them right, but I will just, I don't know. Ooh. I think. Okay, let's. All right, let's just get this first vocal out of the way. Try to make drop first. Yeah, man, drum and bass, man, fucking pot upon the shit. I love it. See if we can do something. I don't know what the spec has. I just downloaded it this week, so it's quite decent on my headphones at least. Doing bass music is pretty hard on a headphone, I think. Especially since I'm so used to producing on so used on producing on monitors that feeling the bass right on headphones is pretty hard. But let's just get a basic groove down. Alright, that fucking synth sound drunk as fuck. Get me a lot fatter, I think. I don't know. Let's just get some. Oh, we got a we got a drum and bass guy here, I think. Because yes, you're completely right that the kick drum isn't that great with the snare right now. Because this kick is a little bit too punchy, I'd say. But I mean, we're just jamming. Most of the times I just flick in some samples at the beginning, get a groove right, and then after a while, I'm like, maybe change the kick around, maybe do something better. But yes, it's a bit more of a subtle kick would work better, I think. So I don't know, maybe get some different kick from the other pack. These definitely don't sound as good, but maybe just a punchy kick. Let's see how that sounds. We can make a kick later in kick 2 or something. This works, but I feel like the kick's a little bit too long. So the snare's a little bit off as well, a little bit too reverby. I don't know how you get something else. I don't know. It's a jam anyway. These don't really sound that great, really. Better. It's a bit more chilled. You make like some mix between liquid drum and bass and real drum and bass. I mean, that would kind of fit the vocal, I think. See, be very fun to try out how the vocal sounds. If
I tried my best to go.
try the chorus. I have heard Noize live. Yeah, I've been to a couple of shows. Saw them live twice, I believe, 3 times. Not sure. But I went to their solo show in the Melkweg with ADA, and that was by far my favorite show. They had like this, I don't know, this outfit, you know, with these LEDs inside their masks or something, or like outfit, I don't know. And it was fucking amazing because it wasn't like at the beginning of the evening. It was like, I don't know, 8 p.m. or something, and everyone there was just there to witness that specific show of Noisia. So everyone knew everything what was being played and was going absolutely mental. Like one of my favorite shows I've been to. Even though I feel like it's not my favorite music to listen to anymore, especially nowadays. I feel like it's a bit too intense to listen to at home. But for live, the experience was insane. Like so much fun. We just copy these vocal chain for now. Probably sounds shit, but yeah, it's not great, but the vocal needs a little bit more verb, a little bit of autotune even. Not a perfect take, I'd say. We use this take though. What music do I like to listen to? As a quick question in between. A lot. I'm listening to Synthwave. I'm a big The Weeknd fan as well. Love what the guy's doing with almost every album. I listen to a lot of classical music as well nowadays. Yeah. Anything really, like electro house, like this chill out electro house melodic stuff. Steven Botzin, that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Lo-fi, hip-hop, that's kind of like my stuff that I go to nowadays when I'm just at home. And for live music, yeah, I don't know, if Corona kind of like killed the live music vibe for me for a long time. It's also one of the main reasons why I made Electronic Heartbreak the way it is. Really focused on just being a listening EP, for me at least. And yes, I tried incorporating dance floor elements in there a lot, because I feel like Phuture always needs a lot of dance floor material in there, because that's what Phuture stands for. But that EP was like really a decision for me to that moment. I wasn't feeling live music anymore, music for dance floors anymore. So I was like, let's try something else. Let's do something else. Let's see where it goes, and try to focus on the storyline and songwriting, and try to make the best out of that. And then yeah, make hardstyle out of it or something. I don't know. A really fun project to do, and I learned a lot as well doing the project, because I think the first project that I spent on like with a full story at the beginning when I started out. I mean, it was like I had this image in my mind of like this male and female, you know, fighting over certain stuff, especially nowadays with all the digital social media stuff, and I wanted to do something with that. So I asked Marek to help me out, and first we just wanted to do the guy version, and then later on was like, whoa, it would be amazing to do the female side as well, and think of like the female being more of the outgoing person and the male person being more like the internet type of guy, and try to get that, you know, out there and see if we can make hardstyle out of it. And that was kind of like interesting and a cool experience, like really cool, because I don't think there's any hardstyle written nowadays with such a pop style storyline, really. I mean, that's why I probably can imagine that some people that normally only listen to hardstyle and want to listen it for the energy, that'll be like, oh, this EP sounds a little bit odd to me. But for me, it sounds all in a good way. Let's just say that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have released it, obviously. right. Oh well, these vocals don't sound great at this point, but yeah, let's just run with it. I mean, it's gonna take a while to get these vocals right, really. Let's just add some doubles, because if this is gonna be the actual chorus of the track, I'm gonna use the doubles and we'll record it as well for the what going on? Oh, going on. Use this one as well. Let's just try to make that chorus pump.
But the night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me.
I mean, nowadays it's very normal to focus on the vocal being like super perfect. Like, try to get the perfect take, then even smoothen it out with auto-tune, volume levels, whatever. I mean, that's what everyone does. I mean, like, all the records you hear, there is a little bit of tuning or tweaking in the volume levels or whatever going on. So it's always going to be way more polished than it ever can be if you do it in a live environment. But sometimes you have kind of like this voice, Demi's voice. I really enjoy the fact that she sings in you know, sometimes like it's a little bit off, but it's like it adds the touch of emotion to it or something. It's really, I can't really describe it, but it's, I mean, these takes are like, I think, untuned and untweaked, and I mean, it gives kind of like this, this chorusy vibe to it. Really enjoy that. Okay, should have done that. Yeah. Let's make a vocal group. Vocal bus. Let's call it a vocal bus. Everything in here. And then add some verb to the vocals. I'm gonna use a big verb, I think, because I think it fits the vocal really well. Use it in the original as well, so. Not too big, so not a fucking St. Peter's shit. Like just a good hall. Standard hall. Here's a trick, by the way, for all your producers watching, that I found out. Normally, I always EQ'd my reverb after the reverb, and that's fucking dumb, because it just doesn't work as well as EQing before the reverb. So if you want to EQ your reverb, do it before the verb plugin. It gives you so much more control over the verb. Like, I don't know how I mixed so long without trying it out in my life. Like, oh my god. Anyway. Also, that's a tip for you guys as well in the for the reverbs. Cut as much lows as that until it starts getting empty. Don't add any lows in, because with the last Electronic Heartbreak EP, I didn't use this trick yet because I hadn't figured it out for some reason. I mean, it's a very obvious thing to try, but I didn't do it. And I cut the low ends after the reverb plugin, and I didn't. If I listen back to it right now, because I've got new studio monitors here, which are much better than the ones I had, I just hear that there's just a bit too much rumbling going on in the mix. Like, it's a little bit too colored in the dark side, and then, or in the darker regions, so to say, of the reverb. And that's great. For the tune, it kind of fits, because the emotion of the tune is this darkness, this sadness of, you know, cheating and that kind of stuff. But, yeah, so if I figured it out, then and doing mixing on that tune now, I would have done it this way, so. About sidechaining reverb, the only times I use it is using hardstyle sounds, or hardstyle screeches or leads or whatever, because I feel like sidechaining reverb is very, very unnatural. It doesn't sound great on much sounds. It can work if you do it very subtle, but then most of the times I feel like it doesn't do a lot, so I just leave it out because it just doesn't feel nice to me. But on hardstyle leads, it can give this nice pumping feeling that you hear in a lot of tracks. For example, by Zero Project, Warface, Disturb. They all use this heavy sidechained reverb stuff, which makes the track fucking pump, which is, I'd say, a good thing if you want to make that specific type of hardstyle. But if you want to make a more natural sounding track, I mean, sidechaining reverb is something you don't want to do a lot. But sidechaining delay can be nice especially if you want to. Let's just do that with the vocal right now. I use sidechaining delay a lot with vocals. Otherwise, because they kind of like stick together too much, the delay with the original vocal, and then they clutter the words, so to say. A long pre-delay, yeah. I mean, a pre-delay also works. It kind of gives the same pumping feeling as sidechaining. But sidechaining for me is, I don't know. It just feels too unnatural, like too chaotic. But chaos can add drive. So if you want to make a kind of music, it works. But for me, not my taste. Like, using it a lot. Anyway, let's just see what kind of delay we're gonna use for this vocal. Okay, that kind of works. Very basic, but that works. Yeah, that really fits the vibe, actually. It's fun. All right, let's just add some sidechain to that so the original vocal sticks out more. There we go. Always when you add like a sidechain on your delay or your reverb or whatever, I think I always use a 0 MS attack, because the attack will clutter the transients, and obviously not good. And then you just simply, what I do is just tweak the compression. This compression knob actually just tweaks the threshold and the ratio, I believe. I think it's a macro control. But yeah, in a different compressor, you could just use the ratio and threshold to tweak it. And I just do this by ear. I mean, there's no like trick to it. What you can do is put everything on very low and then just simply play it and then just try to add the release until it sounds nice. I think you can, for sidechaining delays, you can just keep the ratio at this point. Bit too much sidechain now. Yeah, I'll probably change this later, but for now will hold up. Okay, well, the track. Yeah, Reese basses. Let's make more basses than just one. See where that can take us. Maybe also add some hi-hats. Yeah, I got a machine, the Native Instruments machine. This one. Fucking amazing tool. Like, it really fits my workflow. I was drumming in the drum sounds on my keyboard, and that was just not a very nice thing to do. Anyway, I just put the camera on there because I've got a new setup here with dual screen and new monitors, so I can't show my keyboard anymore where I'm playing on. So I simply move the webcam to the machine thing. Oi. I don't know, let's just go through some sounds here and see if we can find something nice. I got Neumanns, Kleine Hummel 310s. They are absolutely my favorite monitors that I heard that are under like 10 grand. It's just my favorite sound. I mean, it's probably not even the best monitor under 10 grand, but yeah, it's my type of sound. It's very direct and a warm bass. I don't know. Oh yeah, thanks for checking out my masterclass, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it. All right. Get into this machine. All right, so my mic's a little bit too far away. Actually, I think I can. No, really. I kinda can make this work. I hope this works. All right, I'm just gonna go through some banks here. I mean, I don't know if you guys, if one of you guys owns Machine, but it has a lot of drum samples that come with it. Some of them are fucking so much fun to play. You can just instantly. I mean, I'm not even being sponsored by these guys, but you can instantly like check out all the samples that they have. Looking for some nice hi-hats. I don't know, there's a lot. I don't even know which bank to actually check out because I just recently got it and I've been using a lot of the synthwave drums so far, but I'm just now at the B out of all banks, so I don't know, 1,200 more banks left to go through. Let's just try to find a bank instead. A bank pack, I'd say. I don't know, a London grid, I guess. Okay, that was easy. Well, my song's finished, guys. Whoop, whoop. Okay, that works. Only one thing I really dislike about Machine is that normally you should arrange the whole thing inside this plugin. You can't really do it with MIDI. But if you go into this section and go to, I think it's a group and then input, you can put it on MIDI mode. And then you can actually control it by MIDI. But then you can't use the browser anymore on here, which is kind of like, I'm like, but I mean, it's with USB. You want to control your DAW, right? I mean, it's just a bit weird. It would be nice if they actually figured out a way to use it. Because now I need to change using this button into MIDI mode. So there we go. This is now into MIDI mode. I can't browse the presets anymore. I can only do it in the software here now, not on the thing itself, which is pretty dumb. But now I can record MIDI. As in record the notes that are being pressed.
will it tear me apart?
I think this just works. Ah, I'm running over my cables. Fucking hell. Thanks. Bit too much accent. Get out. I need to figure this fucking mic set about. Alright, let's just limit that vocal to make it as loud as we can. Create a drum bus here. I always create buses for all the instruments, so you can control the sidechains, the mixing. If you're finished with the track, you can easily change the volumes and the EQing of the complete drums you have. So let's say if we make a drum bus and now we solo the whole thing. So we solo the drums. I mean, they're not finished, obviously, but let's just, for now, you can have a good listen at it. You're like... Alright, I think the kick should be EQ'd maybe. Yeah, bit muddy. Add a tiny bit of reverb on there. A very short platey thing, I think. How that sounds. And ambient. Bit of transients in here. Oh. Bit too much transients. Wish I could just turn my monitors on, really. Alright, let's just sidechain this. Wait, that's the bass. Let's just sidechain. Wait, I will make a bass group. I will probably be making more basses if we do drum and bass. That's wrong button again. Bass plus. And I will add the sidechain compressor here to duck the bass. Very important for drum and bass. I think I will just do the whole drum bass and then use the filter in here to get the right frequencies out, because you also want a little bit of duck snare hits, I think. I'm not an expert on drum and bass, but just trying to use my knowledge, you know? I don't think there will be a mix of drum and bass and hardstyle in the future, like an actual full-blown genre, because I mean, hardstyle has a vibe. It's completely every beat is a strong beat. It's like dang, 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 and drum and bass is tup tap, tup tap, tup tap. That's a very different vibe, so to say. So you focus on the second beat of the bar most of the time in drum and bass. The kick itself is less important because it will only give a strong beat every time you start a bar or a 2-bar section, and then the snare actually defines the strong note, so to say, or the accented strong note. I'm not sure how you would actually, music theory wise, how you'd call it, but it gives out a different vibe than hardstyle does, for sure. So I don't think it will be a combination that can actually work. It's either you're gonna make like drum and bass with hardstyle sounds, or you're gonna make hardstyle with drum and bass sounds, but you can't mix them both in a way that have the same flow or the same vibe, so to say, the same energy. Like a dark re-sound would work way more than actually. Yeah, heavier kicks, but then the whole problem is, yes, I tried that actually. I mean, if you guys remember Phuture Propaganda, very old track. Well, it feels very old to me. And I used that idea to actually use a stronger kick. But the whole thing is, if you use a stronger kick, the vibe changes, and then you need a louder snare as well. So if you make a very strong kick and a very loud snare, there's not a lot of room anymore to do musical stuff or bass stuff. I mean, yes, Crossbreed has that mix, which is simply just drum and bass with a very hard kick, and there's nothing else going on, and a very hard snare, like a very loud snare. And yes, I think that works because it just takes the, let's say, the ultimate drum and bass vibe and just makes it super loud. But if you actually want to add, let's say, a melody or a bass line or something that we would normally use in hardstyle in that kind of music, I don't think you can make it work. It's just too much information going on at the same time. I thought I actually Hot Wheel filter, but I guess I didn't. What should we go with the bass? Like, you guys have some ideas in terms of like inspiration? I mean, maybe my Twitch stream will get muted if I actually put Spotify on, but yeah, I don't care. I'd say. I think very dark Reese bass and then add some melodic touches to it will actually work best with this. Wait, so be kind of like a tune. Yeah, for more subby bass. That's what I was thinking as well. I mean, this kind of stuff. It fits the vibe of the vocal as well. Like, it's kind of the same style even in a way. Oh fucking hell! This album has some good tunes. Very popular on Spotify for some reason. Oh, this is such a tune. This is such a tune. Oh yeah, I really love that kind of like stuff. If you're in a car, it's raining outside, you put that shit on. I mean, just a fucking vibe, you know. Anyway, yes, let's go for a darker bass sound. I completely agree. I mean, that will just work best with this, for sure. There's a phaser on there already, but I think we should actually make the bass pretty clean, because the vocal itself is such a vibe, such a mood to it, that if we add too much bass stuff going on, it's gonna be too chaotic to listen to, because you want to focus on the vocal in this bit, I believe. I mean, that could kind of work, but I mean, actually we need to EQ that a little bit. Oh yeah, for all the producers, if you EQ bass, use linear phase. Depends on what character you want to use, so try both, but I'd say use reverse bass, use reverse linear phase if you want to do like proper EQing for getting the mix nice. If you want to do characteristic EQing on the bass, it doesn't matter. But if you want to do mixing EQ, I think linear phase works best for bass lines. Yeah, maybe we can do some bass sounds like after the chorus happens. So the chorus goes on and then it just builds up into a different drop or something. I mean, in drum and bass, it's also about the flow, the constant, you know, rhythm going on. So, I mean, we could figure that out, I suppose. Just for now. I mean, normally when you make this kind of bass lines for drum and bass, you make two layers, one for the clean bass and one for the character. We do that a lot. They don't always do it, but most of the times that's how they do it. But for now, we're just gonna use the ambassador because I really can't be fucked, to be honest. To add some bass. It's kind of like the same as Waves R bass, this plugin. A bit neater. Really. This could maybe use some caution. some clean, like, guitar-y distortion. I don't know. Amp, maybe just try some amp or something and mix that in. I think maybe like adding an arpeggio in the background would like very nice. I mean, this is just a bass line and a vocal going on. There's already a lot of atmosphere in it. Like, yes, exactly. I mean, it's just a vocal that carries so much already. So I think just focus on like an arpeggio in the background. Maybe dark, kind of like, I mean, if you just play, let's say, this is the bass. Just use that chord. I use that chord a lot. Beginning of something new. First track that comes in mind, using that chord. Yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant. Try it again. Had to. Oh wait. Oh. For some reason, I was thinking we were in a C, and it was like, this should work. Like, this is where fucking theory fucks your brain up, you know? As in, like, think it should be right, but then you just forgot that you're in a different key. Because I'm working on a tune for myself right now, which is in a C. So I've been so stuck in my brain thinking like, oh, it should be in C, it should be in C, and now this tune is in a D. So fuck. Bit embarrassing. It should be a plucky sound or something. Maybe a plucky synth sound. I don't know. What do you guys think? An arpeggio works nice here. But there's like this really metallic, like detuned kind of vibe to it in my head. I want it to be like super metallic. Let's see how the vocals verb works on this sound. That works. Should it be a little bit more organic though? It just sounds a bit stale or something. Static. We add a little bit of filter modulation going on. Oh yeah, and then just make this like super compressed or something, like it's like punching in your ear or something. It'd be amazing. Maybe some kind of like modulated delay or something. It's like up your ears. Oh. Very short, like tap style delay. Now just a little bit of saturation. With a go. Okay, now add some chords in the background, I think, like a pad. Maybe, nah, I think if we add a rhythm in the pads, it will be a bit too intense. Maybe violins then or something. Atmospheric drum and bass. That's been a fucking while since I made it. I mean, probably won't be as popular as me making hardstyle, but I enjoy doing this on a Friday evening. No, some like well, less notes in the ARP. Well, that could work definitely, but I want to use the ARP as a rhythmic on the eighth, just like the hi-hat, you know. And now I want to add the bounce using a different instrument because yes, I was kind of like thinking in the same direction as you, so that's good. But yeah. I don't know. Let's try some. And I don't know. I don't know if this pack's like suited for this. Let's say some staccato. A little bit louder. No, this is definitely not something official. I mean, I was just booting this up and people were having questions about some bass sounds and about the track. So I thought it would be nice to combine it a little bit and make some like bass sounds and do something with the track that just got released today, you know. I mean, it was gonna be official. Who knows? I mean, probably not, but if it's gonna be fucking tremendous. It's been a long time since I made drum and bass, so it's probably not gonna be amazing the first try I'm doing is like. Really tear me apart. Yes, I was planning on doing the same with Maniac, but I need to set a date with Mark because I thought it's gonna be really fun if we actually do like a live session, a planned live session, like full on us doing an acoustic version or something, or like I don't know, write a new song out of Maniac or something. I don't know, like something that's like really cool to watch, like us working together, me and Mark. We have a really good chemistry in the studio, trying to make something unique. That's what I was trying to plan on. And this live stream is just me on a Friday evening having no clue what to do and just fiddling around, you know. I mean, if you've got any questions whatsoever or production stuff, the old Maniac song. I mean, it's a month old now. Is that all considered old, or what do you mean? I think violins could work really well with this song. I tried my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will it tell me apart? The night is loving me. Definitely need to create some headroom though. Like everything is so fucking loud. I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna release that Circus on Squares edit. I mean, I made it for the Silver Bullet show. That I was planning on doing for exclusive in May, and then that didn't go through. So I thought like, let's do it for DEF CON then. And I played it on DEF CON, and for now I have no idea when I'm gonna do the Silver Bullet shows again. So I have also no idea at the same time of what to do with the track. Michael Sembello Maniac. I'm not sure if I ever heard that before. Is that something that sounds like our song? I mean, at the point when I was working on the Silver Bullet, the show, not the album, but the show, I was thinking like I could do a deluxe edition of Silver Bullet with some edits that I was going to use at the show. But obviously that didn't go through because, you know, there are no shows going on for Silver Bullet for now. Well, the ones that plan is still an exclusive, but I need to update the whole show and need to do something different, probably. Because the album is going to be, I don't know, a year and a half old at the point when the show's taking place. So maybe I'm going to make more edits. Like, I don't know. I mean, Silver Bullet, some songs already feel weird and old to me, and I'm not sure if you guys read my old Bible story that I wrote on Instagram about reflecting on the last year and a half or something about the whole process. And I was just sitting in the studio and I was thinking about like all the stuff that happened, and so many, let's say, dreams of mine, even I'd say, were kind of like shattered because of what was going on. But I mean, I was pissed off, obviously, but it was bad as I thought I would be, maybe even. But yeah, the show was gonna be something that I would work on for a long time and try to make some edits, especially for over the summer. I was about to present the whole Silver Bullet show at exclusive, probably not with a lot of edits because I expected a lot of people just wanted to hear the original songs back then because the album was just gonna be released around that time. And the whole summer, I had a few other Silver Bullet shows planned for the summer, where I wanted to play more edits of like songs and stuff like that. So I was like, well, if that works out really well, I can probably do like a Silver Bullet Deluxe edition later in the year. But yeah, that didn't happen, obviously. But Qdance asked me to do the climax thing instead. That took a while. I think I worked a month and a half on that song for climax. Did a lot of different concepts until I found the right one that fitted like the kind of like climax vibe that Qdance asked for. And after that, yeah, I never got around doing more Silver Bullet stuff. Like really, I was like, let's work on something that isn't focused on the dance floor. And that kind of was like when Electronic Heartbreak happened. So yeah, at the moment I have no clue I'm gonna do the show next year at exclusive. But luckily we have 6 months to go, and I've got a lot of material laying around, and I've got some ideas already. But yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna fill it in, you know. Yes, the climax track for the movie, yeah, that's what I was talking about. It was quite a big project because Qdance had a certain like thing in mind that I wanted to have, and I wanted to give my own Phuture Noize vibe to it, you know. So I tried getting that nice mix between what the idea was they had for the video and then my idea of what the track was going to be. So yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. Yeah, A New World. I don't think I think A New World as well triggered me to write Electronic Heartbreak at the same time, because that song was also never focused to be played on a dance floor. I mean, it was focused on making it for the climax video. Like really, I mean, I wasn't working on making that song work for the dance floor. But obviously, if you make hardstyle, you're gonna make it in the boundaries of what hardstyle should sound like the vibe. It should have this hardstyle vibe, and yeah, and that's it's a very interesting thing to work on actually. And Electronic Heartbreak showed me as well a lot of things you could do with hardstyle that I would normally didn't consider doing with hardstyle 4 years ago, with all the songwriting and all the vibes in the breaks. Like, the breaks were almost more important in these songs than the drops. You know, it's it's a weird thing if you think about it for a hardstyle track, but it was fun to do. Mm. Yes, I always. The thing is about albums. Well, thank you for the compliment, but the thing is about albums is I personally fucking love albums. You know, there's room to do something different than just making hits. Because we all know as professional musicians that you gotta have hits on an album to promote it, like singles. Like, I mean, for example, The Weeknd has Blinding Lights and that kind of like songs, you know. And sometimes you write them on purpose because you want the album to work. So, let's say tracks like Masquerade or something like that. I made that track knowing that it was going to be an important track for the album because I knew like this was kind of like material that I would myself very much enjoy, you know, live. And but you also have room to try different stuff in an albums, like try to do something that doesn't necessarily have to be a hit. And I think that idea is amazing to tell a story, because if you tell a story is not going to be climaxes like through the whole storyline, so to say, but you gotta build it up into a climax. You gotta take the energy away after it and stuff like that. And even though maybe Silver Bullet doesn't fully grasp the vision that I have with an album in that sense, it does find a nice middle ground for an hardstyle album and an album that has that vibe to me. And in the future, if I'm ever gonna do more albums, which I probably will, I'm gonna try to focus more on creating like this concept album style with a couple of tracks that are very nice on the dance floor and very nice to listen to, but at the same time make interesting music next to around it, so these dance floor songs even have more meaning and impact, so to say. And well, the thing is, I'm not aimed at the dance floor all the time. That's the thing. Yes, I make tracks for the dance floor. Yes, I make tracks for to listen to at home. But I feel like it's very important to constantly give that, how do you say it, that hardstyle vibe. And hardstyle vibe has to have a build up, has to have a drop where you can dance to. Otherwise, it doesn't feel like hardstyle anymore. And I do want to make tracks that feel like hardstyle, obviously, because I mean that's what I'm known for, and that's what I want to do, really. Anyway, I'm gonna put a tune on because I had a I'm drinking a couple of beers here, and I really need to go to the fucking toilet, and I will continue with the questions later on. Wait, let's just put this album on of the Upbeats. There we go. Enjoy. I'll be back in a moment. Well, good night. It's early on a Friday, kind of early on a Friday. Depends on what you need. Hey, oh man, missing the sounds of the past. Yes, something that I kind of like struggle with sometimes when I have like a certain idea in my head that I'm like, is this idea like too different from what people I used to listen to from me? And then I'm like, same time, just thinking like people also expect a certain thing when they listen to Future Noize, and then if I'm doing something like electronic heartbreak, I know that I'm doing something different. So I'm always like, what is the right moment to do that kind of stuff? Say, and that kind of stuff is sometimes hard, but at the same time, this Corona times just gave me the opportunity to do it anyway. I mean, what if I made this new kind of like sound for Future Noize and people were like, yes, this is Future Noize, you know what I'm saying? And it's hard to say, and then for me it doesn't really matter. Let's say that, but for me, I want to enjoy making music. It has to be fun, because making music itself is very stressful sometimes if you can't find the creativity that you are looking for, and if you make sure you gotta keep having fun while doing it, even though if you are getting on very professional levels, so to say, but if you don't have fun while doing it, it will just simply the tracks itself will feel boring. Because if I was focused on, let's say, constantly making that specific sound that I used to, that I would simply be bored at a certain point. I can't do it. I will just get bored, and therefore I need to try different stuff and figure out like what's my journey, like what's my new music gonna be like. And yes, so that means this is going to be very deep for a Friday, but yes, that means that sometimes you have to take a risk to make something that people maybe wouldn't expect from me, or even, let's say, dislike from me. But at the same time, if I don't make these new kind of sounds, then I won't enjoy making music anymore. And at the same time, I feel like a lot of people as well would get bored about my music. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, well, how did I design my own style? Well, for me, music has to come from what I hear in my head, the stuff that I enjoy, the technology that I enjoy using as well at the same time. And that defines a lot of the creative process. So if you sit down making music and you have no idea how it works, yet you do want to be successful at it and play DJ gigs, you're gonna simply probably put on some hardstyle song, right? Like, I don't know, put on some popular song at the moment and then try to create something that sounds like the popular song right now, because that's what you want. That's what you want in your mind. Like, make hardstyle, and hardstyle for you defines the current sound that it's popular right now. And then obviously you don't create your own sound, because you're simply gonna try so hard copying what everybody else is doing. But what you really need to do is sit back and think of what is my perfect envision of what music can be like. Like, let's say a Masquerade, for example, is inspired by my love that I have from when I was a kid, from drums and guitars and bass. It's kind of stuff that not a lot of people use in art style, and it has been used, but not a lot of times. So then I'm like, oh, let's try something with that and try if I can make a cool hardstyle song with the combination of the love for drums, the guitars, and try to make something new out of it. It will be something new, and I don't really watch what others are doing in that sense. And that means that therefore I will always focus on what I enjoy most, rather than what people show me what hardstyle should sound like. And yes, it's a struggle sometimes too, because, for example, the song that I released today, I fucking love the tune. It has a certain vibe to me, but it's, if you compare it with the energy levels that it has to current day hardstyle, with Easter, Warface, Sub-Zero Project, these type of guys, you listen to it and you're like, whoa, but it doesn't have the same amount of energy, so it should be a bad song. But then at the same time, you're like, But why do every song has the same amount of energy levels? You know, as long as the song itself holds up the sound that you like to listen to, it doesn't matter anymore. And people in hardstyle, for me, sometimes listen too much, thinking how it should sound like, rather than what it can sound like. It's kind of like, you know, that's a difference in my head, and I think that also creates my own style, because I'm always thinking like what it could sound like rather than what it should sound like. And listeners sometimes in hardstyle are so dedicated to it that they will let know like, oh, this doesn't sound great, or oh, this doesn't have the amount of energy that I want for hardstyle to have, and they will immediately call that song shit. Well, at the same time, I think you should listen to it every time you put a song on. You should just listen to it and listen to like, what is this nice? Like, has this like this energy or this vibe, or it doesn't have to have the energy that let's say a Warface song has, for example, but it just needs to sound something that you wanna listen to, and it doesn't necessarily have to work on the dance floor. It has to be the Defcon End Show track or something, but it has to be something that you just put on and you be like, oh, I like this, you know? And that's something, yeah, something that's always going to be a discussion in hardstyle, because hardstyle is such a, what do you say, it's a genre that is so defined by the tempo and the sound, what it should sound like, and the people expect a certain dance floor vibe to it, that if you wanna step out of that type of sound, you have to do something really good or really amazing to make people listen to it and convinced that it can be something else. And that's why I think the genre itself is not very innovative, and that's not because of the producers that don't want to experiment, but at the same time the producers also want to make people smile, you know, and let people have a good time on the dance floor. So there's always going to be a middle ground in that, so to say. And I talked to a lot of colleagues about this, and well, some colleagues just love to produce music for the dance floor, for the people, that they listen to it and you're like, yes, you will get the people going, this will be amazing, you know. And other people really make music in a way like I think this is fucking fun, so I should make this. And that's, I mean, there's a different input, and I always will have the latter in that input. I mean, that's I think an interesting subject always in the hardstyle scene to talk about, because it's been like that for years. For when I started out, it was like that, and nowadays it's still like that. Well, I think hardstyle comes from techno as well and hard trance, and if you take that in mind, it makes sense that it's kind of like a DJ genre, you know. His sets have to be energetic and make sense, and if it doesn't work for the people like that, then they will simply, I don't know, get bored as well on the dance floor. It has to have this constant energy, and that's also something that makes you not make stuff like Electronic Heartbreak for, let's say, the today's song. This song can work on the dance floor if you play it separately, but if I would play this song after a very energetic raw song, it will just fall short in a way, because it doesn't have the same energy on the dance floor anymore. But if you just put it on at home, I fucking love it. So it's always like a thing like, how far can you go with that stuff? And I'm glad that I take the chance to do that kind of stuff, because it's always a nice experience. But yeah, that's how I make my own sound. Fucking hell, there was a long story about that, but yeah, I always try to get ideas in my head and how it could sound rather than how it should sound. Open a window. I'm gonna just open a window here, just so you know. It's not that warm here. It's like, I don't know, 24 degrees or something, which moment I think it's warm, but it was 24 degrees. But yeah, my air conditioning in the studio is broken. moment. So that's kind of where it's coming from. And it's a small room with a lot of electronics, and it kind of like fucking wrecks the temperature. But yeah, I'm glad to read that a lot of people think like hardstyle is also a listening music rather than just a dance floor music. And I mean, I completely understand people that just want to have energy all the time in hardstyle. And yeah, it's just my opinion, so to say. Well, why do I find my inspiration? Well, inspiration is a weird thing. I mean, let's be fucking honest. If you think about how a song should sound, and you just sit down and think really hard, like I need to make music now. I need to make music today. It's not gonna be very creative, so to say. Most of these ideas just come from me. I'd say watching a TV show, just walking in nature, doing something completely different, sitting in the shower, standing in the shower, just thinking about like what could be cool. And then I think of stuff and I'll write it down. And when I wrote it down, I think like, how can I make this idea become reality? And that's where my inspiration comes from. So, I mean, it's very broad, so to say. Yeah.
I tried my best to cut you out.
Add that in the vocal bus.
I tried my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so. I tried my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now.
What do I think about the new Art of Creation talent label? Well, it's always good to give some talent some space to do stuff. I mean, nothing really for me to give an opinion about. If the Art of Creation guys want to release music that they love, I mean, fuck yeah. Why wouldn't they?
Will it tear me apart? Will it tear me apart? Will it tear me apart?
Getting the rhythm down. Like inverted there to and there or something.
Well, what DAW do you use then? Because Cubase, in my opinion, is one of the most logically laid out DAWs there is, and probably it won't work as great for everyone. But for me, it's the one that works best for me, because otherwise, I used Avel, it was chaos. I used Ableton, it was chaos. Cubase just works for me. I think some synth steps would work. Violin like synth steps, I guess. I don't know, it just sounds a little bit too complex now or something. Definitely less is more, but it's always hard, man. When you're using a vocal as a drop thing, you know, then, well, kind of like a drop. It's more of a chorus now than a drop. But you use that, you always need to think like, what makes vocals stand out? And you should always think of like the vocal is the main thing going on, and all the other stuff around it just resembles around the vocal. Maybe just some chords or some pads would work best, and maybe just create a little bit more of a complex bass or something. That could actually work. Just maybe emphasis the last bar as being like a last beat to be like an accent or something. Could work. Yeah, so we actually have a nice down-going pattern here now on the screen with the exit notes. A little variation here, probably just. That's it. Yeah, that works. No, there was a filter automation that I used, but I turned it off. So yeah. But I feel like a more stable bassline works better here, because, well, maybe we can accent these accent tones using the phaser with. Burp on the bass. Probably just a hall, but like very volume. change for the drum is not that hard, really. It's just some. I mean, the drums didn't need a lot of EQing because there was just samples, and there's some little bit of tape going on here, a low mix. There's a limiter now going here, using pretty much like a kind of like a limiting brick wall compressor kind of thing. I added a little bit of transients back in after the limiting, and then I used inflator to top it off. The vocals add to a song because most of the times the vocals are a lead, you know, so the vocals always make the song really, and that's what a lot of people sometimes tend to forget, that if you have a very good vocal, it makes or breaks a track, and it also tells the story for the track, really. Well, the thing is, a $50 drum set. I mean, the thing is, Circles and Squares, the vocals in that track are recorded on iPhone, the free iPhone buds you get with an iPhone. So, I mean, you can make everything work if you're just creative enough, so to say. I mean, the fucking vocals that are created on an iPhone earbuds are transmitted on the Defcon main stage end show. I mean, just make it work, bro. I mean, fuck yeah. I'm just adding a pad in the background. Just steps. Eighth steps or something. Okay, now we need to color up the bass line with the chords. So I'm gonna like.
Now, will it tear me apart?
Maybe open the filter or something. Yeah, that works better, I think. A lot more drive to it. I think we can use that plucky sound idea for the verses or something. Like. Trying to make it sound a little bit more analog. I can also use analog synths, but I can't be bothered right now. Oh, I've got already. Okay, wait. Let's do Ghost sidechain. I love Ghost sidechain. Beginning of something new is fully based on Ghost sidechain. It's something that I don't think a lot of hardstyle producers even know about. So let's just do that. Such a lovely, lovely effect. So what I do is I make a Ghost channel. It's a Ghost sidechain channel, which is, as you can hear, it's just a sound. It doesn't matter what you use. You can use snare drums, you can use kicks, but I use a synth sound, just something very basic. You actually shape the dynamics using the envelope. Just, you will see later what I mean. So I will just let the pad play. There we go. And now what I do is, I'll use the pre-fader sidechain, which means that the sidechain is triggered even if you turn the volume down. And now. I mean, you can't really see what I'm playing, but I'm just playing a rhythm. Let's say, okay, well, let's just do it here. Yeah, you can also use a noise gate, but a noise gate is the opposite. Like, it just creates a plug. And using a sidechain, it creates a bump in the volume. If you use a gate, it will create the peak is created by the ghost. And if you use a compressor, the bump is created, like the lower volume thingy. So what I normally do is I tweak the sidechain compressor like very extreme to make it dip like super loud. So and like the same effect that you hear on the beginning of something new, really. Like, get some nice chords and just, you know, do that and find a nice rhythm. It's super easy, but it will sound like you copied the beginning of something new now, though. So you have to do it in an original way. Yeah, that sounded terrible, but the downside about using this technique is that you need to, let's say, put a rhythm in. Let's say it's just use something like this, like put that in real quick, what I have in my mind. So let's just simply, I think it's this rhythm on top of my head. So let's go like. Well, yes, I did use granular synths a lot back in the early Phuture Noize days. I used the Fruity Loops granular synth. I'm not sure how it's called anymore, but I use that a lot. But the downside about granular synths is it sounds quite weird and thin in a way. So you need to use it a lot of effects and EQing and stuff to make it sound, to make it pop. And then it just, I don't know, it doesn't pleasure me anymore how much it used to, because you can make a lot of fucking weird shit with that. Like, I was throwing in vocals, I was throwing in snare drums and making like bass sounds out of it. You can go every single direction, but it just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel as good as using analog style synths for me anymore. Maybe I'll get back to it one day, but for now, I mean, just doing this is fine. So but yeah, this is the thing with the ghost sidechain you have to consider, is that if you dip at the points where the note's being played, then it's actually too late. So that means the song is dragging a lot. I can show you what I mean by just enabling the drums here. As you can hear, it's just way too late. So that means you need to make a rhythm that you enjoy. Like, let's say I just put this in manually. And you need to shove it a little bit. I think, wait, yeah, there we go. Yes, to change the gate behavior, you can use either the release in the compressor or change the trigger synth. It's very easy. So, I mean, a trigger synth here is just a saw wave, and you can just use the envelope to. I mean, that's his vibe, you know? I think Flume uses this as well in a lot of his, in that pop hit he made, like Never Be Like You. And when he used it in that sound, I mean, I knew from the effect way before that because Noize used to use it a lot. And I fucking loved the effect when Noize used it. But Flume did it in a way that made it make sense for like pop music or like more popular sounding music. And I thought it was like fucking amazing. Like, super cool effect.
Now, will it tear me apart? The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. Running circles in my mind. Keep loving me, keep loving
Taka, 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 taka. It's a filler. Dun, 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 dun.
me, keep loving me tonight. Try my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my now. Will it tear me apart? The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. Running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight.
We can add more percussion in. I mean, yes, cymbals are a good idea. Who's his voice? This is Demi Lotus. She did the song today that was released. You know, I mean, if you guys enjoy these vocals, check out the tune that I released today because there's a hotshot track with these vocals that I just released. You know.
The night is loving me. I lied.
Yeah, fucking algorithms on the internet, bro. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, algorithms on the internet. I mean, not everyone's gonna see my posts. That's how it is nowadays. I mean,
The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind. Keep love. The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. Running circles and keep loving me tonight.
I can actually do like a keyboard solo on top of that or something like like the old pendulum stuff.
Running
Oh, well, the thing is, pre-save enabling, yes, it's very good for people that use pre-save, but so far I haven't. Well, I used it for a couple of songs, and I didn't think it was that great. But I will definitely keep that in consideration. In fact, I will just write it down on my idea notepad. You know, like an idea notepad. I would recommend everyone to get an idea notepad if you are a producer. Writing shit down is how it is. I mean, don't use your phone. Get a fucking notepad, you know. An idea notepad, yeah. I don't always have it with me, so then I do use my phone. But writing stuff down with a pen, that's where it's fucking at, you know. Well, I'm also super unorganized. I mean, I definitely had fucking trouble with that back in the day when I was in high school and doing my bachelor degree and stuff like that. But at the same time, yeah, motivating yourself to do this is really fucking useful, and I learned a lot by doing it. Because, I mean, if you wanna do well in business, you gotta do it.
circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight.
Cool, like keyboard solo thing or something going on. I have this like specific like very buzzy sound in my head, and a very thin metallic sounding synth. Very big attack on it. Might be a bit too extreme on the attack, but let's see.
Loving me tonight.
Yeah.
Loving me tonight. Loving me tonight.
A little bit more, I don't know. Oh, that's more like it already. More distortion, no, it won't fucking ruin the lead. I think. Yay! No dynamics.
Keep loving me, keep
Needs more OTT, right? What it need. Yeah, let's just fucking use OTT. I mean, I hate OTT. I'm not gonna have a rant about it here, but oh shit. Perhaps also a bit trash with this sound, but whatever.
me, keep loving me tonight.
Yes, OTT is also built in Serum. You use the multiband thingy here.
Keep loving me tonight.
I don't know. This ain't working. This ain't working. I don't know. Get a pre-setup going.
Loving me, I lied, I was blind to see. Running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight. Night is loving me, I lied, I was blind to see. Running circles.
It's more like a vocal chop kind of thing.
Circles for me, keep loving me tonight. Tonight.
Like a vocal chop or something, and like following these notes, like. Yeah, I got something I could use. I got my own vocal chops as well, yeah. So yeah, if you want to clip it, listen to this. This is me recording my own voice. Oh no, the file is missing. How's that happened? Fucking hell. Oh well, that's sad.
Keep loving me tonight.
It's very easy actually to do your own vocal chop. I mean, let me just grab my mic and we can just do it right now. I mean, like, I don't fucking care. I can't sing for shit, but let's create a vocal chop. My recording mic is bit short on cable. I will probably need a key guide here. I know what key to play to sing. No, I'm not using any hardware before the chain. It's literally just a preamp. I use a specific preamp, not the one in my sound card, but apart from that, it's all done in software. Wait. Like if we just record that, and I'll just tune it, right? I mean. It should have a proper ones. I have no idea what note I was singing. There we go, that's quite close to a C. Who's that? Oh, wait, I need to bounce this audio. This was a B, right? Yeah, it's a little bit off. By how much? 16%. Let's just fix that pitch first before we're gonna put it in a sampler. What? There we go. We can even loop it, I think, so we can actually make a choir out of our own voice. Wait. Loop mode. Probably need to zoom in. Oh, I haven't sung rail. Okay, now then we need to. I mean, I can also just do Beethoven shit with this, you know. I mean, Beethoven is a C sharp. There we go. I mean, if you know all this music theory, you can have so much fun with all that classic. Right, I'll just EQ it a little bit better. Some reverb, probably. I can't believe this evening started off with like trying to make a cover of Keep Loving Me. Then it started into getting drum and bass. And now we're in fucking sampling my voice, making fucking classical music. The loop's trash, but at least the sample is long enough. I mean, like, just say, if you know the music theory, you can play like. Just octave that down a little bit. And then we can just play like, get some Bach after it. Right, that's in a D. And then I think Bach plays like. And then. Okay, we're getting like a bit off track. Or actually on track. First one sounded. I mean, yes, if you've got a good vocal job, you can do a lot of actually funny shit with it, like actually useful stuff. Because you can also just. I mean, that melody that I just played by Bach. I mean, Timmy Trumpet uses, I think. It's obviously Toccata by Bach, but I mean, it's kind of like vocal chop sounds can be quite cool, you know, to play around with. Because if I, for example, filter this and add some more interesting stuff to it, like distortion or something, you can easily make a screech out of this, like. Let's say pitch envelope, obviously. I mean, if you want to make a screech. Okay, wait. Obviously, it lacks the kind of like D tune that you would normally hear in a screech. So you could probably add like, I don't know, some kind of like weird chorus effect, like. I mean, that's the thing of a screech. Screech is just noise in a way, just like wailing. Anyway. I was thinking we could actually use this in the intro of the track and maybe use like an LFO, finding the 8th beats or something. No idea what I'm doing right now, like no clue in my head, like there's no plan. Yeah.
I tried my best to cut you out, but I tried my best. I tried.
Need to, let's say, just quickly do a vocal compression here. Probably needs. Like, I don't know. I'm a didgeridoo actually. That's what I am.
I tried my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will it tear me apart? The night is loving me. I thought I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me.
I think if you like add some subtle distortion to this, like throat singer. Fuck yeah. If you add some subtle distortion to this, it might be fun. Like, I don't know, guitar amp, subtle stuff. No idea. I just bought Saturn this week, so I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, for real. Like, I mean, it kind of works. It's unplanned stuff, you know what I'm saying? Fucking amazing. I mean, that's even more interesting, I think. And if probably need to EQ some dirtiness out of this because it's, yeah, like it's always the hard bit about using guitar amps. There's a lot of dirtiness in there, and mixing that with an EDM style, kind of like music is always difficult because of the high end. It's always going to be a bit messed up, but let's see how this goes.
I tried my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will it tear me apart?
You could actually make like a really cool break out of this, even if you just simply do that acoustically. Like, let's say we move this forward, like, I don't know, 8 bars. No, 16 bars, and then we can just do another verse after the first chorus. Be interesting. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. This verse, I suppose.
Night, I drank the darkest night. I drank the darkest of all potion. Feel it boiling in my blood. Maybe.
Out on the second.
Tonight I drank the darkest of all potions. Feel it boiling in my blood. Maybe there is a way out still, but I don't want no other love. Way out still, but I don't want still, but I don't want no other love.
Okay, that works. Focus need a little bit of tuning actually. Where if I actually picked the right take? Whatever. It's just.
I drank the darkest of all potions. Tonight I drank the darkest of all potions. Feel it boiling in my blood. Night I drank the dark.
Alright. Maybe you filter that a little bit more or something. It could be nice. Like should be like a little bit of dark pad or something. And then yes with the chorus. Oh, yeah, the speed should be a bit lower.
I tried my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will it tear me apart? The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight. I drank the darkest of all potions. Feel it boiling in my blood. Maybe there is a way out still, but I don't want no other love.
And then just do another chorus after that or something. We actually have a tune going on. Wow. Alright. Yeah. If I place these vocals right. Star one beat. One beat. Oh. I think I just exported the wrong.
I tried my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will it tear me apart? The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight. I drank the darkest of all potions. Feel it boiling.
I don't know what's wrong with this fucking tape, bro. For real.
Night, I drank the darkest of all potions. Feel it boiling in my blood. Maybe there is a way out still, but I don't want no other love. Keep loving me tonight. I drank the darkest of all potions. Feel it boiling in my blood. Maybe there is a way out still, but
I'll just fix this take. I can't be bothered getting the right take out.
maybe there is a way out. There is a way out still, but I don't want no other way out still, but I don't want no out still, but I don't want no other love. The night. I tried my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will it tear me apart? The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight. I drank the darkest of all potions. Feel it boiling in my blood. Maybe there is a way out still, but I don't want no other love. The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight.
Yeah, that should be like kind of like distorted vocal sound. Cool.
I tried my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts.
Just do a simple bass.
So deep now, will it tear me apart? The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight. I drank the darkest of all potions, feeling boiled.
That's cool. One octave higher.
I tried loving me, I tried my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now, will it tear me apart? The night is loving me, I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight. I drank the darkest of all potions, feel it boiling in my blood. Maybe there is a way out still, but I don't want no other love. The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight. Tonight, I drank the dark.
It's I drank the darkest of our potions. It is not poisons. It's potions.
Keep loving me, keep loving. You keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will it tear me apart? The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight. I drank the darkest of all potions, feel it boiling in my blood. Maybe there is a way out still, but I don't want no other love. The night.
This is a really weird arrangement if you think about it, but it works.
The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight. I drank the darkest of all potions, feel it boiling in my blood. Maybe there is a way out still, but I don't want no other love. Night, I drank the darkest of all potions, feel it boiling me tonight. I drank the darkest of all potions, feel it boiling in my blood. Feel it boiling in my blood. Maybe there is a way out. Maybe there is a way out still, but I don't want no other love. The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight. Keep loving me tonight. Keep loving me tonight. Keep loving me tonight.
Melody synth's a bit weird.
Keep loving me tonight. I tried my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will it tear me apart? The night is loving.
I think we should actually introduce the melody that I just played over the melody drop here, like.
Me apart. The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles.
Actually works really well. Maybe with one of these guy piano. No, why not? really dark reverb. Probably use a shimmer for piano, but
In my thoughts, I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will you tell me apart? The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight. I drank the darkest of all potions. Feel it boiling, then tell me apart. The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight. I drank the darkest of all potions. Feel it boiling in my blood. Maybe there is a way out still, but I don't want no other love. The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me. I tried my best to cut you out.
let's see how that bass line works. I don't know.
But you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will you tell me apart? The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight. I drank the darkest of all potions. Feel it.
Fucking hell, you could actually do a fairly good like hardcore song on this if you think about it. I mean, some League games. Yeah, I would definitely want to do some League games. That's a good idea, actually. It's so busy making music that I haven't thought about doing that, actually. I was playing some ARAMs, though, in the evenings when I'm, like, trying to get out of gear or something. Yeah.
Boiling in my blood deep down. Will you tell me apart? The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight. I drank the darkest of all potions. Feel it boiling in my blood. Maybe there is a way out. But I don't want no other love. The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles. The darkest of all. The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running.
I think it would be actually be really nice for this tune if you just add like an amen break, like get this really atmospheric drum and bass going. But I don't know. At the moment, I don't really feel like working on that because it's gonna be very annoying to just search all the samples and stuff because I don't have a lot of drum and bass samples with me. I mean, Machine has a couple, but yeah, that's not that fun.
Night is loving me.
Just make a hardcore remix, you know. That also work. Let's see how that goes. It actually could be interesting. Okay. This probably won't be too nice of an EQ, but okay. Let's try to do this hardcore melody on top of this. I'd say we do it after the chorus, so we remove this bit and then just keep the bass going, keep the chords going even. I suppose. Yeah, why not?
Night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight.
I mean, and then ta 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 ta.
Loving, you're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight.
Fuck you, virus. You're being...
Loving me, keep loving me tonight. In my mind, keep loving me tonight.
Background chords, something? I don't know. It's a simple supercell patch I made a while back, so. Like a lead, bass, stereo. Yeah, some chords to it. Be fun. Like. It kind of works, I guess. Fuck me. I wasn't doing it right anyway. It was a bit off. A couple of beers, you know what I'm saying? Normally I would quantize all the note lengths as well. Actually kind of fun, that extra note in the chords. Melody does lack a bit of drive, but I mean, Normally, I'd say if you want to use this kind of melody, you need to like a super screechy lead to make up for the energy or something. Because this melody itself is not very, very energetic or something. I made a screech lead called Dirty Wank. I should use the Dirty Wank. Yeah. Now we need to make a kick. It's gonna be a difficult one. Yeah, microtonic is my favorite go-to for hardcore stuff. Wait, I've got a kick chain that I made for an Apex collab when Ross was over. We can actually make something from that. Maybe make something nice sounding like. Oofed. I just realized this song's in a D, and a D is not really a hardcore key, so it might end up in Frenchcore kind of sounding kick then. Otherwise, it just might not even work. Whatever. Let's just try something in a D. I mean, a low D. I mean, this is definitely not the shade for the low D. But let's see where it goes. Let's maybe try something for like Frenchcore style kick, but then the tempo needs to be higher. 190 something. Let's see how that sounds.
I tried my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Baby, tear me apart. The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight.
Frenchcore. Then we need a synth bass, I think. This will take a while otherwise to get right, and I can't be bothered, to be honest. I made a... Yeah, such in the bass, obviously. I mean... I actually have all the Cepha kicks, so from the collab, so I can just get a Cepha kick underneath here, but it won't be much fun. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, this is the Frenchcore bass. I mean, all I learned from Cepha and his kick making is that it should be fucking ridiculous, but the vibe should be perfect for a Frenchcore kick. Like, the bass should like subtly be shoved into it offbeat or something. I don't know how you actually call it, but if you do it like too obvious, like it will just kill the vibe of a Frenchcore song. I don't know, let's make some punch, I guess. Like, fucking hell, we started off with drum and bass, now we're doing Frenchcore kick. I don't know where this is going. Just hope you guys are having a good time watching this. Because I have no idea what I'm doing. So and now I think what you need to do is you need to make the kick work with the bass. Like you need to have the punch as long as it should be to smoothly get into the bass region, and you also need to get the sub bass off the kick, like something like that. But then it needs to be a little bit smoother. I'm practicing Frenchcore edits. Yeah, for sure. I'm just gonna you know, I don't know. I heard Q-Dance likes to hire pirate ships for doing Frenchcore stuff on, so I'm in on pirate ships, you know what I'm saying? What if I... Weird. I swear you could do kicks on a D on Frenchcore. Kind of works in a way. Just needs to add a little bit more of sub bass. Okay. Well, also, I think if you do this right, you can just simply EQ and distort this punch, and EQ it after as well. So I can just heavily use a wave shaper, GPF style. Yes, there we go. And then we can just simply use the EQ in front of that to shape it, like. Something like that, and then I think you can just EQ it after as well. So it's probably the punch sound isn't quite where it should be, but if we probably shape the punch a little bit more, and even layer multiple kind of like, I don't know, like sounds to it to make it the transient pop out better. But to see where this goes, like, oofed. I like that shit. Then if we simply group this, the brick wall limit this, and no, if you're brick wall limited, it's not clipping. That's the best thing about it, right? Well, normally I'd say you need to add a lot more transients to this stuff. So Let's just try that. I mean, normally you want to punch a little bit more heavy on the ear, you know, like a big tick at the beginning or something. You could achieve it by layering stuff to it, but let's say if we just I don't think the punch quite right. Just let it sit on a tone, like a Warface kind of stuff. That's fucking ridiculous. Doing this on headphones makes it even harder, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have no clue when it's powerful. Like, if you just add some reverb to this, like... This is also a Frenchcore tool, right? If you just simply... Punch is not great where I'm at right now. I mean, I probably... When I'm doing this for a serious take, I will probably simply try to layer more of transients and stuff like that, so it gets a little bit more character. You can even use snares and stuff like that. Or stuff like that. Like, what I would normally do is... I don't know. Probably if you just use one of these snares and then okay. And if you probably layer this like a filter on it. Okay, let's just get this peak out of here. Okay. Okay. This is definitely not the shit that I'm used to do, you know?
I try my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will it tear me apart? The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight.
Actually, sounds quite, in a way, decent. This A note. Like, I'm not even fucking trying, but... Like... Quite decent. I mean, if you tweak this for a bit, it's pretty fucking decent. This tune's in a D, and I'm now just making a kick in an A, which is a fifth, so technically it could work. It's pretty decent. Anyway, I'm just going for a toilet break and getting a new beer, so I'd recommend you guys do the same then, I suppose. And yeah, I will just put this drum and bass album on again, where we left it. The last time I was going for a toilet break. There we go. All right. Thanks for hanging in there, I guess. Okay, so I was just thinking while I was on the toilet, you know, being on the toilet's like a very inspirational thing for me, you know. You ever had these moments on the toilet and I was like, we can actually make like a pretty energetic melody for this Frenchcore stuff, you know, like use more of these eighth notes and stuff like that instead of what we have right now. Maybe even more of a classic, I'd say a classic Phuture Noize style kind of melody. We can, I mean, in the end, we can even start on that A, sharp A in this case. No, it's a flat B in this case. That's what I do a lot with Phuture Noize. I start on the key where the track's in, like a D. And then when the melody drops, I go to the sixth interval. And the sixth interval creates like a major vibe to the tension of the D minor, which is the ground key. So if you just play it and you can listen to what I mean. So
Night is loving me. I was blind to see you running circles in my mind. Keep loving me.
So-
Keep loving me tonight.
then obviously the synth, the vocal steps don't make sense anymore chord-wise, but you can see you do that. You change the emotion in the melody to a more of like a while this chord scheme is pretty sad in the beginning, you can change it into a more of a positive note by flicking around to the sixth interval, because the sixth interval is a really nice relationship with that ground note in a minor key. But the sixth interval is very close to the sound of the minor of the ground note, but it has a major interval instead of a minor interval in it. So it creates like a, let's say, you have, which is the minor interval, and then the sixth uses that major interval. And if you add that seventh of that major interval to it, so you create a certain, I don't know, bleak sounding chord. And that's a really nice starting point for the kind of music that I make, you know? And
Keep loving me tonight.
you know what I mean? It's like, this is like this, I just put this chord progression down. I mean, we can go into different directions with the chord progression. Really, we can move into the fifth interval down, the fourth interval down, and then go to the ground note like this. It just works as well. Like, as in,
Keep loving me tonight.
we need to find something. Need to find something catchy in this. Like,
Keep loving me tonight.
oh wait, that's wrong.
Keep loving me tonight.
Very simple, and we can make these chord progressions a lot more complex than it is right now. But at the same time, I think like a lead melody, like one of these that we're trying to create here. Like, I mean, really trying, but as in like just jamming around on. You shouldn't actually, like, what you say it, like make it too complex in a way. Like, I can make this bass line like harmonically very impressive, like classical music. It's, I mean, it's not even that hard to do it. It just takes some time to get the right notes. But in a way, it has to be simple. Like, especially if you want to make Frenchcore, like for the dance floor or something, that you want it to immediately stick. There's a cheers for you guys. So I don't know, we can do a lot of stuff here with the chord progression. We can use the original chord progression.
Keep loving me tonight.
Wait. That one up higher. But we can also just change it around into say more major sounding schematic. This is probably a lot happier.
Loving me, keep loving me tonight. Dip my mind, keep loving me tonight. Keep loving me tonight.
I love that kind of like stabby melodies. This staccato notes here just gives such a lovely, lovely drive if you combine it with longer notes, with longer accented notes. Just such an amazing sound to use for hardstyle leads, because in hardstyle leads you don't have a lot of dynamics to work with, and then no flanks really define the dynamics.
Tonight.
We can I think maybe move up here to create more of an uplifting vibe. I love chromatic notes so much. Lovely, lovely. This part is a little bit boring. I think we need a variation here already, like. Oh, that we can end with that extra sixth added. You do the chords as well, but
keep loving me tonight.
fuck you, virus. You're being a bitch. Stop doing this. I'm not sure this is better. Let's just keep jamming. I mean, maybe we create the hit melody. You know.
I tried my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will you tear me apart? The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight.
That chord progression just works very well.
Keep loving me tonight. I tried my best to cut you out, but you keep ruling my thoughts. I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will you tear me apart? The night is loving me. I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight.
Yeah. I don't know. It's always gonna be a sad melody if you. I mean, the vocals are sad in a way. The vocals are about cheating and stuff. But if you're gonna do this chord progression like this, it's always gonna be a sad melody because there's just such a downward motion to it, you know. And us as human beings always refer this specific sound to sad moment, so to say. Like if you have a chord progression that goes down instead of up in terms of the bass, you know. Really weird, but
Keep loving me tonight.
it's really hard. I mean, I'm glad to see this. Not everything is always easy. Well, the thing is, it's always hard to find that melody. You know what I'm saying? As in, like, that melody that hits the right notes in your brain. And I can make, I don't know, 100 melodies here, and I can start on. I mean, I'm now starting on focusing on the first interval and playing around that. But I can also start on playing around the fifth interval, so to say. Like, let's say we can start here. And it gives a different vibe, so to say. And we can also play around the fourth interval, or even we can play at the seventh interval. And all these options that you have can create something that you have in your mind that hits the specific kind of emotion or note that you have in your head. And sometimes it's hard to start off with a chord progression that you enjoy, and then you just realize, like, oh, but I want this track to be more energetic, and then your chord progression is too sad, you know, like that. It completely depends on how the track sounds. That's just super annoying, even for me sometimes, when I have, like, oh, I want this track to be like super energetic, and then you have a chord progression that doesn't necessarily is energetic. So you have to figure out a way to make it energetic or change the chord progression. Sometimes that's a bit hard, you know.
Keep loving me tonight. Tonight.
Start with an upbeat.
Keep loving me tonight.
Ah, this virus is such a bitch.
Keep loving me tonight.
And as well, we've got a chord progression here that's actually consists out of a two bar per note, which also gives it a halftime feeling. So if you want to have a more energetic melody, you should actually start considering using more of a one bar progression, because it gives you more of a 4x4 kind of feel to it. So otherwise it's technically an 8/4. Oh. Let's just forget that LP then. Just, I don't know if it's a specific rhythm here in my head and I just can't seem to get it right. Let's just throw the rhythm in first. Yeah. And you immediately miss that specific vibe here. It's a bit of a sad progression now. If we then you could probably do a variation here that focuses more around the 1 instead of the 5th. I mean, you could literally, I think you could literally copy this, just shift it up, and it will actually work. Kinda does.
Keep loving me, keep loving me tonight.
I would just. Yeah, we probably need to sample that cake and pitch it. And you'll hear something. This is acting weird. Just sample it and see where it goes. I mean, I have no clue if this sounds right because I can't use my speakers. Bad. That's great either.
Keep loving me tonight.
Let's just get these chords in or something. I think Frenchcore always has these like offbeat chords.
tear me apart. The night is loving me, I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight.
I think we should actually change that chorus now, that it fits the melody or something in my head, otherwise it will sound a little bit... I think that will work with the vocal steps.
Thoughts, I can't believe I'm in so deep now. Will you tear me apart? The night is loving me, I lied, I was blind to see. You're running circles in my mind. Keep loving me tonight.
Crunch also needs some work, but yeah, whatever.
Keep loving me tonight.
I wanted to save this. And oh, we've been live for over 3 hours now. The fuck. Alright. Well, anyways, let's just save this for now. And I'm getting a bit tired here. And oh man, it's been a lot of fun. Just fiddling around for no reason whatsoever. I'll just put this Frenchcore. Love. Oh. Anyways. Yeah, so I'd say thank you all for tuning in tonight. Hope you had a good time for what it was worth. And I mean, if you specific other questions, whatever about I don't know tonight, whatever kind of stuff, just drop it in the Discord, and I will probably respond someday. And other than that, I mean, I hope you had a good time just jamming around with this shit. I don't think it was a long time ago that I just jammed around for no reason whatsoever with just so much random shit going on. We went from drum and bass to Frenchcore kind of stuff, and yeah, I'm probably gonna do a little bit more of let's say serious jam sessions as well later. I think it was a lot of fun to do a little bit more of a serious art style thing. Sure, as well, because I will probably need to create more music since Electronic Heartbreaks being released the coming month. I've got a couple of ideas already laying out, but I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it at this point. But yeah, I'm gonna focus on the shows, the upcoming shows actually, and exclusive is gonna be first real big goal I'd say for myself to try to do something amazing. And pardon me. And yeah, let's just hope we can see each other at exclusive. I mean, it's been a drag really last year and a half, and especially with having a bright future ahead for the summer, and then it just being cut off completely in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, it's a bit sad, but well, I hope we can just see each other in the future and we can have a good time, and I will maybe even making more weird shit in the future, and then we can play. We can jam out it together, you know. So thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. And have a good night. Have a nice one.